The UK is not playing with Chris Brown. They are holding him until June. They're not letting him go. I'm sure they know that he is a flight risk because this situation, this alleged club attack, actually happened back in 2023. So let's get into why they are holding him. Chris Brown has been remanded in custody after appearing in court charged over an alleged bottle attack at a London nightclub. The American singer was arrested at Salford's Lowry Hotel on Thursday and later charged over the alleged assault, which is said to have happened at the Tape Club in London's Mayfair in 2023. Brown, 36, is alleged to have used a bottle to cause grievous bodily harm to music producer Abe Diao. The singer was in Manchester ahead of his planned tour of the UK in June and July, with dates at the city's Co-op Live Arena in Manchester and the Principality Stadium in Cardiff. During the hearing, Brown, who was wearing black tracksuit bottoms and a plain t-shirt, spoke to confirm his full name as Christopher Maurice Brown and date of birth. All right, so it looks like his next hearing will be June 13th. Okay. The judge says the nature of the offense of grievous bodily harm was too serious to be dealt with by a magistrate's court. Brown was scheduled to perform in Amsterdam on June 8th before heading to Germany, then embarking on the UK dates. Fans gathered outside Manchester Magistrates Court ahead of the hearing. One fan who lives in Manchester told the BBC she canceled her plans so she could spend the day outside court. Candy, 35, said she has followed the star since she was 14, and when she heard the news of his arrest, she could not sleep. I'm just here to support him. I love his music, his voice. Even my children are fans now. These people, you know what? Let's talk about some of his history of violence, alleged violence. Actually, the altercation with Rihanna is not alleged. This happened. So this happened back in February 2009. Chris Brown physically assaults Rihanna. If his history of violence would have stopped with Rihanna back in 2009, maybe he would have rehabilitated himself. He did not. All right, so let's just kind of remember what happened. Brown and then girlfriend Rihanna had an argument that escalated into physical violence on the part of Brown. Rihanna was left with visible facial injuries and was hospitalized. Brown was subsequently charged with felony assault and making criminal threats on March 5th, 2009. He pleaded guilty to a felony on June 22nd of that year and accepted a plea deal of community labor, 5 years of probation, and DV counseling. Let's just run through a few more of these. June 2012, Chris Brown is involved in a New York City nightclub brawl, and this brawl included Drake and NBA star Tony Parker and various members of the trio's entourage. Later, they made up and they had a skit about it in 2014. January 2013, Chris Brown clashes with Frank Ocean. Brown and his entourage clashed with fellow singer-songwriter Frank Ocean and his group outside a West Hollywood recording studio, reportedly over a parking space. October 2013, Chris Brown is arrested for alleged felony assault. Chris Brown was charged with felony assault in D.C. when he and his bodyguard Christopher Holliday were involved in a physical altercation with two men outside the W Hotel. According to a police spokeswoman, Gwendolyn Crump, Brown and Holliday spent 36 hours in jail and appeared in court on Monday in October 2013. These charges were reduced to simple assault misdemeanor. Regardless, we can see that there is a pattern of Chris Brown and violence. It's like they go together like peanut butter and jelly. October, November of 2013, Chris Brown enters a rehab facility. Brown voluntarily entered a rehab facility only to be kicked out for alleged violent behavior in November 2013, according to the LA Times. Brown reportedly smashed his mother's car window with a rock during a family session, per his probation officer. 6 days later, Brown was sentenced to 3 months at a live-in anger management rehab facility. September 2014, Brown pleads guilty to assault. He pleads guilty to assault, so this isn't alleged. Brown pleaded guilty to the assault from the October 2013 incident in D.C. He admitted to misdemeanor assault and was sentenced to time served. Brown spent 2 days in a D.C. jail. The crazy thing is, he is not spending much time in jail. Maybe had they held him for a little bit longer, this wouldn't keep going because there's still more on this list. And I'm skipping some of the things on his timeline. But now let's do this one. May 2015, Chris Brown allegedly hits a man in Vegas. Brown was briefly named in a misdemeanor battery case in Vegas, where a man alleged the singer hit him after an argument over a baseball game at the Palms Casino Resort. However, the man declined to press charges. August 2016, Chris Brown is arrested on suspicion of assault. Brown was arrested on suspicion of assault with a deadly weapon following a 9-hour standoff with police at his LA mansion after a woman called 911 claiming he had allegedly threatened her with a pew pew. According to the LA Times, charges were never filed. April 2017, Chris Brown allegedly punches a photographer. Tampa police said Brown allegedly sucker punched a 28-year-old club photographer during a paid appearance. The alleged victim claimed that Brown attacked him because he was taking photos after Brown arrived at the venue for an after-party showing. That was his job. Like, what is wrong with this man? June 2017, Chris Brown is ordered to stay away from ex-girlfriend Karrueche Tran. People confirmed that a judge granted Brown's ex-girlfriend, Karrueche Tran, a restraining order against the singer for 5 years. The model alleged in court that Brown texted her violent threats such as, "I can get my money back," and "I'm tired of playing games," along with "B, I will beat the out of you, and I promise I will make your life hell." Tran also alleged Brown punched her in the stomach twice and pushed her down the stairs several years ago while he was on probation for his assault against Rihanna. However, no police report was filed at the time. After a tumultuous on again, off again relationship, Tran and Brown officially split in late 2014. The fact that women keep getting with this man after his history of violence with so many people, men and women, is beyond the scope of my brain. Like, why are you still dealing with this person that is this volatile? There's still more on this timeline. May 2018, Chris Brown is sued by unidentified woman for alleged SA. An unidentified woman sued Brown and 2 others after she alleged she was held down and SA'd in the singer's home during a party on February 23, 2017. The woman, identified only as Jane Doe in court documents obtained by the Blast, claimed the group used narcotics, alcohol, threats, and the presence of pew-pews to intimidate, coerce, and force unwilling female guests to perform X acts. There's still more. January 2022, Chris Brown is sued by a woman claiming he raped and gave her narcotics in Miami. A woman identified as Jane Doe filed a $20 million lawsuit against Brown on January 27, 2022, alleging that he drugged and raped her on December 30th, 2020, on a yacht in Miami. The woman also detailed 2 subsequent alleged encounters with Brown, including an instance in August 2021 when she claimed Brown became irate because she would not respond to his alleged sexual advances. And then finally, October 27, 2024, woman accuses Chris Brown of raping her on Diddy's yacht. Diddy, who's on trial. This man is caught up now, but he's in the UK and they decided to keep him. How has he been able to skate all of these charges? Because this is a lot of charges to be able to wiggle out of. I do understand star power and everything, but now we're starting to see more people held accountable. What is going on, and how is this man escaping from all of this other stuff? There is way too much violence surrounding this man. It sounds like he needs to be on trial, just like Diddy is on trial right now. It sounds like he needs to be locked up, like R. Kelly is currently locked up. Hopefully the UK can hold him for a while, but if he does manage to come back to the United States, people need to be holding him accountable. He needs to be in court, just like Diddy is in court right now. But you let me know what you think. Join the conversation. Don't forget to like, comment, and share.